Everybody's trying to be my. Everybody's trying to be my. Everybody's trying to be my.
Hello, Yang Gang. This is Naman. Welcome to my channel. Make me think harder. No, I'm not wearing the hat today. And no, I'm not going to talk about how everybody wants to be Andrew Yang today. That was an old story from old video. I'm just reminiscing, that clip I made for my old video. The intro clip. Today I want to talk about the election. How 70 plus million people have voted for President Donald Trump. And how 70 plus million people have voted for President-elect Biden. I want to confess in this video that I had a wrong attitude when I first heard the news. I'm in Oklahoma City right now, visiting my dad. I'm from Virginia. My wife's there, my daughter's nearby. And then I have two boys in Seattle. I was talking to them and I say, man, I'm in Oklahoma City. I probably have about 60% chance of meeting a racist bigot if I walk out of my dad's house. I know, it was wrong. Immediately I got into that tribal mode and villainized 70-some plus million people. Made them a racist bigot. That was wrong. Wrong of me. I probably was being racist bigot myself at that instant. I come to realize this. These 140 plus million people have voted this year. It was a record turnout. Many of us care about our country, one way or the other. I'm trying to find common ground, and I think I found some. I had to think hard about it, okay? Probably most of us, about 140 million of us, probably don't trust our government, established government, politicians, mainstream media. And mainstream media, I'm talking about CNN, NBC, CBS, all the alphabets, and even Fox News, okay? I don't trust them. I don't trust this internet media either. Facebook, QAnon, Twitter. So I think majority of us have doubt about these. Just that we have a different scale of doubts. Just because somebody's Democrat does not mean they're not racist. Just because somebody's a Asian American like me does not mean I'm free from being racist. Let me share a clip. I was on Voice's channel, Mindful Skeptic Podcast. I was in his channel yesterday, and I shared a story with him. Let me share that clip with you. I'm gonna make a video about this, but let me share a story.
comic strip
Okay.
I read long ago. I used to work at Boeing military industrial complex. I used to work for Boeing military airplane company. Okay,
Boeing, yeah, man.
so that's back in like 85, 86, around there,
Mm-hmm.
and bunch of white guys. I was
Mhm.
I was fresh out of college, maybe like 22.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is like 40, 50, old people like us.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
bunch
exactly.
of white guys. Okay, and I'm in there. And what they like to do is when they read newspaper, they'd like to clip out a comic strip and you know
Pin
put
it
it
to
up
the board.
on their wall or something.
It's like their
I
Facebook
come back
wall.
from lunch and this bunch of a bunch of them gathered together in one area. They were laughing, reading the comic strip, and they were handing out copies of it. And I say, "Hey boys, what are you guys laughing at?" And look at this. And so I'm looking at the comic strip, and it has this white man manager guy in a tie, chubby white guy, and he got his employees lined up, and he said, "Hey, we have to downsize. I need to let go one of you guys." And
Yeah.
so immediately the black guy goes, "Hey, I'm black." And then the rest of them are white guys. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's a guy in a wheelchair goes, "Hey, I'm disabled." The woman goes, "Hey, I'm the only woman working in here."
Right.
And what was the next one? Old man. There's an old man there going, "Hey, I'm senior citizen." So there's two young white guys left. They're looking at each other, and one immediately raises his hand and goes, "I'm gay." So so they're laughing at that,
Mm-hmm.
and they're willing to share that with me, right?
Yeah.
And I post that up there. I go, "Okay, I posted up there." But there was a secretary there. She looked at the comic. "Oh, you boys," because she was a woman in that.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and I guess they included me as one of the white guys because
Yeah.
I
Asians
I
weren't
wasn't in there.
you weren't a
My-
person of color yet.
so, but they want to share that with the.
I'll provide that link below for Voices channel, that video. Those people, my fellow engineers at Boeing, many of them are called my friends. They didn't know they were offending the only lady working in that office. They didn't know they were offending only minority guy working in that office. They were laughing, in my mind, I think, because that comic strip spoke for them. Reverse discrimination is possibility. White guy could be wrongly be accused of being racist just because they're white guys. And I get that. I empathize with them. But reality is that frustration no way in any way compares to, let's say, for suffering of a black community. The real suffering they go through. Possibility, the reality. And this 70 million divided by 70 million, I mean, these two opposing views and how media villainize each other is proof that we are tribal. We could easily be manipulated into hating the other group without doing hard thinking. When someone accuses you of you being racist, everybody's reaction is to deny.
Can't even see the audience because it's so dark, but I don't care who's in the audience. I'm the least racist person in this room.
Okay, Vice President Biden, let me
Abraham-
ask you very quickly, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history.
You could be a member of a KKK group and dislike being called racist. It's easy to deny. Let me give you my reason why I think President Donald Trump has high chance of being racist. And he may not even know it, okay? He may not know it, just like people in my office did not know they offended the lady and they offended me. Here is my thought on President Trump. He never been a woman, so he does not know what woman has to go through to climb the social ladders or financial ladders, economic ladders, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't know what poor man has to go through each day from birth. He doesn't know what disability person has to go through. I don't know that either, actually, and I've never been a woman myself. I know my parents have been poor. I've been okay. My parents have been taking care of us. He doesn't know what it's like being an Asian guy growing up in generally white population. He doesn't know what black people have to go through and the police brutality that they have to go through. He doesn't know that. He hasn't walked in their shoes, right? Apparently he doesn't know what LGBT community has to go through. He hasn't been in their shoes. Now, have not gone through knowing that, and he still can empathize and sympathize with all those group of people. If he's able to do that for real, yeah, I think he's the next Lincoln. He could be classified as the next Lincoln if he has overcome all that obstacles. As rich man, rich white guy, has no disabilities, don't know what it's like to be a gay or lesbian, or he doesn't know. But if he could think, have a heart, and have a sympathy for these people and empathize with them, yeah, he's the next Lincoln. But that's not how he's portraying himself. He makes those insensitive remarks, flat out denying and saying he's the least racist person in the room. That's all it takes? That's all it takes? Let me give you an example of how one will do a self-reflection when one is accused of being, let's say, racist, okay? Or something, or at least being tolerant of racism. I'm going to read a tweet from Dwight. I'll post it up here. Woke up to Yang Gang in critical thinking crisis. Are youngsters actually pretending that working class is an euphemism for white Midwest voters? It is when Trump says it, it is when Bernie says it, and it is when Yang says it. My first reaction to that, just like anybody else, I took offense to it, okay? And denial. I'm Asian American. I've been living here about 46 years. English is my second language, but I never knew that working class is a euphemism for white Midwest voters. I didn't know. So I got a little perturbed. And on top of that, he would badmouth person that I support as our next leader, Andrew Yang. So I got a little perturbed. Then I got thinking harder. Maybe I just don't know it, but I am being insensitive to Dwight's perception. Maybe that's been there all along and I just never noticed. Just like those Boeing employees, Boeing engineers that have offended me, maybe I don't know that I'm offending someone else. So it was in the back of my mind until I saw this video.
Van, what are your thoughts?
It's well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers back for no reason. It's a vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know, the I can't breathe. You know, that wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe. Every day you're waking up and you're getting these tweets and you just don't know, and you're going to the store and people who have been afraid to show their racism are getting nastier and nastier to you, and you're worried about your kids and you're worried about your sister. And can she just go to Walmart and get back into her car without somebody saying something to her? And you spent so much of your life energy just trying to hold it together. And this is a big deal for us just to be able to get some peace and have a chance for a reset. And the character of the country matters. And being a good man matters.
Obviously, Van, very moved, and I can understand how people are feeling the way you're feeling right now. I think, as we've talked about before, it's a very divided country, and I think a lot of folks on our side are feeling the fears that you're feeling, that you have been feeling the past 4 years. On the economic side, people are afraid that Joe Biden is going to do what Boris Johnson is doing and Angela Merkel are doing in Europe and shut down the economy. There are a lot of blue-collar people, and again, we've been talking about this, that a lot of blue-collar Americans felt that neither political party really cared about them, and that they were the ones who were losing their jobs. They were the ones who, that whether it was technology or trade or globalism, that they were sort of left behind by both political parties, Republicans for big business and Democrats for tech and the environment and all these other issues, and that the working class people were sort of left behind. And so they're worried about, going back to global agenda and not worrying about what's going on here in America. There are a lot of people of faith who are worried about religious liberty. They're worried about whether there's going to be, speech codes and hate speech and a limit on what they're able to say. So as much as people are concerned, I understand you're feeling relieved. There's a lot of people now on our side who are feeling concerned.
That's the first time where I saw the conversation when someone was talking about working class. That's the first time I saw from Dwight's point of view. These guys seems like they were arguing between Van Jones and this other guy. They're talking about working class as a white Midwest workers, not including Black Americans or other minorities. This is what I mean by thinking harder. We have to self-reflect. I realize, hey, maybe that's why President Donald Trump is so popular among certain particular group of people. He has vocalized their frustration. Reverse discrimination is a possibility. Just because we are white don't mean we are racist. Sure, don't call us that. Flat denial. Donald Trump is doing that for them. It's easy to do it that way. But remember, people, we are at least 140 million plus strong. We care about this country. We all agree that established government, politicians, and media are not for us. Working class that includes all of us, all spectrum of colors, race, gender, sexual preference, all of us. We have shown that we care and we will speak, and we have the final say in who our leaders will be. We are powerful people. We know that politicians, established media will not do self-reflection. It's up to us. We, the people, are powerful people. It's up to us to be good with that power. Do some self-reflecting. We're not perfect, but we know we could improve. And that requires self-reflecting, thinking harder. That's my thought. Till next time, I'm out.
Democrats don't do a good job of speaking to working class people. What do you say to that? You're supposed to be fixing that.
I had that experience countless times on the trail, Don, where I would say, hey, I'm running for president, to a truck driver, retail worker, a waitress in a diner, and they would say, what party? And I'd say Democrat, and they would flinch, like I'd said something really negative, or I just had turned another color or something like that. And there's something deeply wrong when working class Americans have that response to a major party that theoretically is supposed to be fighting for them. So you have to ask yourself, what has the Democratic Party been standing for in their minds? And in their minds, the Democratic Party, unfortunately, has taken on this role of the coastal, urban elites who are more concerned about policing various cultural issues than improving their way of life that has been declining for years.
Sorry, I got more thoughts to add to this long-ass video. Because I believe that even Asian Americans can be racist, even myself can be racist when I'm not thinking hard. I don't subscribe to this idea that Asian Americans are model citizens and that they are proof United States do not have systemic racism. So I don't think we should be, in my opinion, used in that argument in any way or form. I'm a U.S. citizen, naturalized U.S. citizen, okay? I gave my oath to protect this country and its constitution when I got naturalized. Ever since then, I have two ancestors, one from my motherland, South Korea, and one from the United States, my fatherland. I believe people in the United States of all forms are getting frustrated, feeling guilty about the sins of our ancestors. But that frustration, that guilt will not go away, and forgiveness will not come unless we get rid of that inequity, that huge inequity that exists between black community and white community and rest of the communities. I believe Andrew Yang is my guy with a vision, right vision, to dissolve that inequity. So as Yang Gang, I do have a question. The question that Dwight asked, question that he put in my head. When you say, Andrew Yang, when you say working class, do you mean working class everybody? Or do you mean just those in Midwest? Is that a euphemism for the white people in Midwest? I like to think it's not. I don't know if you're going to answer this question, but I had to ask because I see you as my leader, and you know, as time goes on, I probably won't have any kind of chance to ask and expect some kind of answer. Well, till next time. Now, man out this time for real.